Welcome to BMPCC4k.tech, the first user tech blog dedicated to the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. We're going to take a look at the Moza Air 2 gimbal, and we're going to see if it can handle the weight payload of the camera and the Voigtlander 17.5, which is a pretty hefty lens, and the Sigma 18-35, along with the Metabones, which is many of the setups that many of you have out there. We're going to see if the Moza Air can truly balance each of these setups. So let's see what's inside this box. Inside the box is a cutout with all the little items and accessories they come with. Right there is where the follow focus is going to come. I haven't got it yet, but it'll come in later. There's the tripod, batteries, cables, the user manual, the battery charger, and some plates, mounting plates you could see right there. And there's the rods, and there's the gimbal itself. A little hard to get out of the damn box. So anyways, right away the first thing you want to do is set it up on the tripod. That way you have a base where you can stand it up and you can mount the camera and get it all balanced out. It's a real solid tripod, by the way. I know the image probably doesn't do it justice, but it's actually a really solid tripod. So let me get this box out of the way and get this gimbal situated here. The first thing you want to do is you want to align the motor onto your right side. So that motor should be on your right side. The menu and the joystick should be facing towards you, the motor on the right side. Okay, once we got all that, we're going to pull out the plate so we can mount the camera. So we're going to do the Voigtlander 17.5 first, and we're going to see how that balances out and how the gimbal functions with that weight. By the way, I'm using the SmallRig cage, and if you take a look at the bottom of it right there, you can see it's like a cheese plate, so you can either mount the camera offset to the right or left or forward and backwards. So if you take a look, the cage, we can't move it anymore to the right because of the motor. So we lock the plate in place. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to adjust this axis. So you do it by tilting the camera up, and I try to brace the camera cage with my left hand as I adjust the right. You want the camera to stand straight up. So the lens should be pointed straight up. There we go. Now it's balanced. So that axis is balanced. We're going to tighten that up. Now I will adjust the plate balance because it's how the camera sits. Is it too far forward, too far back? So we loosen up the knob and you can slide the plate forward or backwards. Of course, if the lens is front heavy, you want to push the camera back ever so slight increments. That way you get the camera balanced. As long as it's not going forward or backwards, then you have it balanced, at least on the plate. Now we'll adjust the other axis. So now we unlock it, and if you notice, it leans to the right. So what I'm going to do is move it over to the left, and now it's going too far over to the left. So now I'm just in these movements adjustments are real slight. It doesn't take much, and we're just going the left to right. We want to make sure the camera's balanced, that it doesn't roll. There we go. We got the camera balanced on that axis. Tighten it up. Now we want to check and see the bottom axis. So now we see that it's still rolling over. The camera should stay still as possible. That's a little bit closer, but it's still rolling, so we need to do the adjustment. Remember, keep in mind, these are all slight adjustments. You don't want to make big adjustments. You may make big adjustments just to find out what direction you need to be moving in, but after that, it's real slight increments. Camera's still moving, so we're going to do a little bit more of adjustment. As you can tell, the other axes are balanced. The camera's not going anywhere. Still a little bit where we go. So there we go, we got it all dialed in. All right, now we got it balanced. Now we're going to do the calibration. Let the gimbal calibrate to the weight of the camera and the setup. Does this little shaking, jerking motions on the axes. All right, so now it's all done calibrating. I highly recommend using the tripod as a second area where you can support the gimbal. And as you can see, it's pretty well balanced. It rotates, it's handling the weight well. All right, so now we're going to go to the big guns here. We're going to get out the Sigma 18 to 35, and we're going to see if we're able to balance this on there with the Metabones speed booster. Right away you could tell it's really offset. So we're going to try to get it balanced first here on this axis. I always go in that order, from the right, center, and the bottom. So let's get this balanced up here. Remember, you know when it's balanced when the lens is pointing straight up and there's no movement anymore. It can stand there perfectly still. There we go, it's balanced. Tighten that up. And now we need to adjust the base plate. We want to adjust the plate balance because it's off. Right now it's back heavy, so let's push it forward a little bit. And you'll know if it's front heavy is obviously when the lens goes forward. I encourage you to grab the cage with your other hand ever so slightly, just so that it doesn't, flop on you or slam up against anything, while you loosen and tighten with the other hand. There we go. We now have it balanced on the base plate. Now we'll do this other axis. We're going to unlock it. And as you can tell, it's rolling really hard, so let's see if we can balance this. Remember, this is a lot of weight now. All right, there, I got it balanced now. Tighten it up. And now let's check. You see it's still off, so now we need to adjust this bottom axis. Mind you, I'm sure there's all this terminology of what axis I'm adjusting. I'll just call it what I see it. And I still support the camera with my left hand just to make sure it doesn't go flopping around. So now we'll have the gimbal calibrate. You can tell it's not moving as fast when it calibrates. This setup here weighs 4 pounds, 9.5 ounces. So now it's calibrated. You can see it's got movement. Pretty smooth. And now the real test. And I know my movements are fast, but we'll slow it down a little bit just to see how the gimbal can handle this, how it can handle this weight. Seems to be doing well. I'm running through the different modes, doing the joystick, seeing if it responds well. Like I said, I moved it pretty fast, but it was to see what it would do with that kind of weight on there. So what's my verdict? I'm really happy with the Moza Air 2 gimbal. I think it's solidly built. It is a professional gimbal. I know some reviewers and some bloggers have said, oh, it feels cheap, the plasticky handle, whatever, it makes noise. It is a solidly professionally built gimbal. The sturdiness, the girth of the actual gimbal, man, it's pretty solid. Like I said, the only thing is can it handle the Sigma 1835 in real world settings? I've demonstrated that you can balance it. Now the thing is, will it actually respond in all scenarios? So I'm going to be trying that out. I'll be posting footage of that. But good job, Moza Air. I'm looking forward to getting the follow focus in soon. And so make sure you subscribe to this channel. Go ahead and like this video. Go to our blog, subscribe on our blog, that we get all the latest news. There'll be a lot more stuff coming up. So remember, folks, keep the magic alive. Take care.